friends, I'm so excited to be doing this video with you guys. I decided to build my own garden hose rack that I ordered from Amazon. Now, I thought this would be an easy project, however, it turned out to be a little more difficult than I thought it would be, but look at me now. As you can see, I got it done and I'm able to have my hose very accessible to my fruit trees that I planted, and I'm gonna walk you guys through the steps that I did. Now, by no means is this video an instructional video, but you guys do have an opportunity to see what I have going on here with this project and how I got it to come all together and all the mistakes that I made, so you guys don't make the same mistake. I won't give you instructions with the appropriate verbiage, but you will be able to see what I'm doing, and I think it will help you if you're building this. And this 20-minute video will save you a lot of time in building this. Alright friends, as you guys can see, the first thing I did, I completely took everything out of the box. The frame, the main frame of this whole project, I flipped it over and started putting the tires on. Now, one mistake that I want you to avoid is to make sure that you put the little cylinder where you can pump air into the tires outwards, not towards the frame, so in case you ever do need to pump air, it's the right way. As you can see, I flipped it over and you can see that I put it the right way. You're going to put a washer and then you're going to put a little clip that's going to go through a little hole that's on this metal pipe that's holding these tires, and that's what's holding the tires in. Second, this cylinder, you're going to put basically the pipe that's going to hold the water hose and the handle through the cylinder. It was a little bit difficult getting it through the other side, but you just have to play with it and eventually get it in there. And you have to put a little muscle into it because it didn't just slide in very smoothly. So without damaging it, I just kind of tug it a little bit and it came out. As you can see on the other side of the cylinder where the pipe came out, there is some holes on that pipe, and right there you're going to attach the handle and you're going to put some screws in there. Now right here, there's a hook that's supposed to come out and hook this pipe, but I was having a hard time doing so, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to do. Alright friends, I had the hardest time figuring out how to get this to come out, twist, and get back into this little hole. Apparently, there is a little screw here holding it that I just removed. Gotta remove it. Once you remove it, you can put this hook over this and put it back in place, and that's what I'm gonna do now. It took a second to get it in there just because you have to kind of look in there and try to get it into the right hole, but once I did, now that I have it in here, I took the little screw that goes in here to hold it back in place, and it took me a minute to actually get it in place, but eventually I did. Now I flipped over this whole frame, and I went ahead and put this in the correct location where it's going to go. At this point is when I realized that I needed 2 people to do this project. I read the instructions, which wasn't very good instructions at all. All it showed us some pictures and it didn't explain anything at all, and it did say that it required 2 people, but I said I'm sure I can get it done. But at this point I realized that the reason why you needed 2 people is because you're going to have to screw the cylinder on the frame, and someone's gonna have to hold it on one side and you're gonna have to hold the other side and screw it on so it could be held in place. Now I went ahead and asked my niece to come and help me and she was very kind to do so. But before we put it up into the frame, we went ahead and attached the handle. There is 2 screws that go crisscross through the handle so it can be held in place. Now here's another mistake that I made. As you can see, that screw is pretty long and not very tight to the handle, and I'll tell you in a little bit exactly the mistake I made, but that way you don't make it. There's 2 small screws out of this whole project, and those 2 small screws are the only ones that go to this handle. The rest are regular size and they go to the rest of the project. As you can see here, we both had a lift on each side and screw it on so it can stay up. This is the reason why you will be needing 2 people to do this project, as much as you hope to do it by yourself, unless you can figure out a way on how to hold the cylinder up while the frame's down and you can screw this on by yourself. You will need 2 people. Now that person, you can get everything ready. That way you don't have to ask anybody to help you for a very long time. So I try to get everything that I thought I needed, but I could have gotten the screws ready and I could have gotten the handle on before I asked for help. So in case you need to ask for help that you don't want to ask for too long, go ahead and get all that ready before you call someone out. As you can see here, we were able to get it on, and I'm putting the screws through and then putting the little screw that holds it together there. Guys, I'm almost done. All I need to do is make these a little tighter, and the easiest way is to put this little tool down below to hold the screw in place while you twist above. I don't build that many things, so I had a little bit of a hard time figuring out how to make them tighter, but I started playing with the tools. And there it is. That's the reason why you need 2 people, because you need somebody to hold it on that side and on this side so you can get these in. Now that they're in, ooh, we're in business! Friends, we're almost done. Now what I'm going to do is attach the handle that's going to help us push this cart to where it belongs. And it's very, very easy. As you can see, it just goes right in to where it's supposed to go. It does have some holes right above and right below. The holes below are to attach to make sure that the handle doesn't just come off, and then the other ones are to attach this little handy basket that's going to help you hold some things. I will be using it to hold everything I need to set up the spigot to connect this amazing garden hose holder rack. Now, as you guys can see by now, this video is not like the best instructional video, but if you're anything like me and you're a very visual person, I hope that by you watching me build this thing, it will help you gather it to put your hose rack together. Because when I was building this, I was searching for videos to help me figure out how the heck to begin, because like I mentioned, the instructions were not the best, and I hope that this helps you guys, even though I didn't give the best instructions. If you're a visual person, I'm sure it will, and I hope that I pointed out the mistakes that I made. That way you cannot make those mistakes. Like I mentioned, the instructions didn't give much instructions other than pictures, and they weren't the best pictures either. Okay? Alright, disclaimer here, don't make the same mistake I just did. There is only 2 small screws. You guys can see the difference. The small ones are going to be the ones that go to the handle over here and attaches this handle. So there's 2 of them. Those are going to go right here. The rest are going to go on the main frame. So I just had to unscrew that screw and put it back into place, which is what I'm going to do now. And just so you don't make the same mistake, save you a little bit of time, make sure that the little screws go, you save them for the handle over here. Because I was just trying to screw the basket, the handle, and it wasn't going all the way through. So now it's going all the way through and it's coming out to the side with plenty of space for me to screw it on. And now, just like anything you build, you have to make sure that the screws that you put in are super tight. That way it doesn't become wiggly and starts falling apart, or the screws fall off and then later on you have no idea where they went and you're going to have a hard time finding the same size screws. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm basically going to go through the whole rack that I built and make sure that all the screws that I put in are tight, especially now that I'm sure that I used all the screws in the correct place, and there's no need for me to switch things around like I did earlier with the handle. So make sure to do that as well. Some of the last parts is taking this little plastic that's going to help seal and protect it from leaking. You're going to put it in here. Like that. Start screwing it on. now we have an extra one to do the same with your big holes. Now that I'm all done building this frame that I'm so proud of doing, I'm going to take the stuff that I need to set up the spigot to connect the holes. I'm going to need a blade to cut everything open, and a new spigot splitter, and some, I don't know what it's called, a little plastic that goes around the spigots to prevent leak. And that's what I'm going to do now. As you can see, the wheels are working perfectly fine. The handle is very tight and easy to push to wherever it is that I need it to, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I dropped something, so I had to pick it up. As you guys can see, even through this gravel and unperfect ground that I have here at my homestead, it's going so well. This is really a good rack in my opinion. As you can see, I got a ginormous holes that I'm going to set up. First things first, you're gonna have to put this tape on the grooves of the knob where you're going to connect the hose. That's to prevent any leak. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add the hose to it the right way through the inside of the cylinder, and then I'm just going to continue to add the hose to this rack. As you can see, it's very easy to do. It is lightweight, so I had to put my knee on it so I can hold it down. Once I was done rolling up the whole hose, I went ahead and unscrewed this irrigation system that was set up to the spigot. But as you guys can see, it only has access to that spigot, so I'm going to have to add a splitter to be able to connect both this irrigation system and the hose and any other hose that I might want to add in the future. So I went ahead and took it apart, and I'm going to add this amazing splitter. But before I do that, I'm going to put some piping tape to help, prevent any leaks, and I'm hoping I'm doing this the right way. I am not an expert, but I am trying here. Now this is the splitter that I decided to purchase. It is heavy duty. It does come with a piece it's supposed to attach to the frame to help the frame to help with the weight. However, I did not attach it. I'm going to have to call my friend who's a welder who can help me attach it and hopefully weld it to either the spigot frame or this fence here. But for now, as you can see, I went ahead and added. It's super easy, and I'm going to add the irrigation system back into place, and then I'm going to add the hose. But I'm going to do the irrigation to make sure that I do it the right way, and once I know that everything's done right, I'm going to add the hose, because first priorities is my irrigation system that was already in place, and it's watering some of my fruit trees that are by the fence. And I'm going to add the tape. I decided not to put it in the far end spigot. I'm going to put it in the middle one just because it reaches better. And as you can see, all I'm doing is adding the tape, and then I'm going to add the irrigation piece. And then I'm going to add the actual system that has a timer with the battery, and I'm going to put it all together exactly the way it was. As you can see, it is not hard at all, not very time consuming. If I can do it, you can do it. So don't be afraid to do these projects because they're super easy. Now I'm going to add the hose just to see if it fits, because this irrigation system is a little bulky, so I wanted to just make sure that it fit before I did anything permanently and before I tried the water on. And now that I know that it does fit, I'm going to go ahead and add the tape. That way it can prevent any leak from there as well. And we're going to do it a test run, so let's go ahead and check it out. And I will have two other spigots or other water access with this splitter, which is amazing, because if I ever want to water anything else or just grab a bucket and fill it up really quick, I can just go ahead and use so. Alright, that was a little time consuming. It took me maybe about an hour and a half to get this whole thing done. Let me show you guys really quick. So right here it says that way is on and this way is off. So I'm going to test it out to see if it works. Let's see. Turn the water on. Hopefully there's no leaks. Really hoping there's no leaks. So far it doesn't look like we have a minor leak there. See that? So I'm going to turn it off and try to redo that a little better. Take 3, let's see if it works. Okay. The little clip that was right here that was holding it together and adding pressure to have retention was very loose. So I went to get some zip tie and made it very tight around the clip that's holding it together. And it looks like it did the trick. And so far I don't see any leaks. So I'm pretty happy right now. The next test is going to be, there it is. So now let's go water something. Okay, maybe this is off, so now I have to turn it on. Yes, 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 yes. Wow, okay, second failed. I'm gonna leave it on to see if it takes a minute to flow. Yep, there it is. It's taking a minute for the water to flow, and since the water is on very lightly over here, because I was afraid this was gonna just snap, I'm going to turn it on a little bit more. And now it's working. Now I can water my fruit trees, pull the hose way over there. I'm so excited, guys. Oh my God, there it goes. It's just clearing out all the air bubbles in the hose. So super excited, guys. I'm super excited that I got my hose cart working. I put it together all by myself. I hope that the instructions I gave you guys were helpful, and hopefully you guys don't struggle as much as I did. Now I can bring my hose all the way to my fountain to refill my fountain, because the wind does blow out a lot of the water off the fountain. A lot of this ends up getting wet, and we end up having a very low water level either here, right here, or up here. So right now I'm gonna let the water run, get this filled. I do have a little net that I pick up all the leaves, and when the water's flowing that much up there, all the birds come by and visit. So once a week I have to do this, and usually by the time I'm off, you know, I do my work week, and by the time I'm off, it is ready to get filled again. And it's doing a great job. The pump is pumping the water up really well up there, getting this filled and that one. So I'm gonna let it run for a little bit, and then I'm gonna turn it off. Friends, thank you so much for sticking around with this project. As you can see here, I am so happy with the hose, and I'm able to water my trees. I'm giving you guys a sneak peek. If you made it this far, here it is, guys. It's showing you the 2 citrus trees that I put in the ground, and I'm going to be posting this video shortly after this video. So stay tuned. If you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notifications, and give me some thumbs up for this video so I know that you guys like these videos. Now, I am excited to tell you guys about these 2 citrus that I've had for a very long time. They are making an amazing addition to my landscape, and I am thrilled to have them in the ground. It was not an easy task. It did take a couple of days off, so I had to